From the very first steps of this project, the builder didn't just think about build a simple house. What you want to create is a really special hiding place, hidden deep among the Korean mountains, where people can forget about the rush of life of the city to slow down, take a deeper breath, and find a sense of peace that they'd long lost. That's not the kind of building that's made just to look good. This house was born out of an idea. Very clearly creates a warm, quiet haven, close to nature, but still strong enough to stand for years. And to make that idea a reality, everything has to start from the ground up. At this stage, the temple was almost completely prepared. Frame rectangle metal is placed shortly to determine the exact position of the plate. The concrete looks like it's just a small step, but actually, it's a really important part. Just a small error at the beginning. The entire building above may be affected. Because the foundation is a small detail, but it determines the lifespan of the entire building. Wood in contact with concrete? The whole house is built mostly of wood to retain a sense of warmth. Natural and close, but concrete always keeps moisture. And if the wood touches it directly for a long time, the moisture will quietly seep up, cause items to warp or weaken the structure. So, a protective layer is added to the base of the wall. It's like a layer of armor. Silently, protect the wood from moisture and make the house more durable. By year, when the background is stable, the building begins to rise vertically. The wooden bars. High quality selected, thorough four-wall frame section, not only for durability but also for long-term stability. Each detail is measured carefully, cut according to the drawings, and then each of the columns stands up steadily to create the first skeleton of the house. From here, the building is no longer an inanimate plane. It's starting to take a clear form. Openings for doors and windows, also located from the very beginning. Everything is calculated on a scale, light and balance of the entire site. Above those shores, the shoe supports are firmly installed to withstand loads from the upper wall and roof. This way the house remains stable, while there's still enough room to catch the light, wind, and make connections with the mountains and forests outside. When the wall is basically finished, construction continues to move to the roof, the part that's considered the spine, protect the living space below. Two large wooden beams are selected to create the roof line. They have to be strong enough to withstand the force, but more importantly, they're put together. It's accurate. The worker uses traditional wood grafting techniques, a simple thought method, but it requires a lot of precision. Just a little bit, the whole link can lose the necessary certainty. Next are the roof tiles, gradually shaping the slope and contours for the entire upper part of the house. Each end of the truss is precisely cut to sit probably on the wall, to make a link from the top of the roof down to the entire bottom. Then the boards are placed on top of the system to form a solid roof surface. On which modern roof panels are available, insulation and coating, rugged metal fitted. But this system not only helps the roof protect against the sun, effective rainproof, it also helps keep the temperature inside stable. At the same time, the gutter system was perfected. Quiet, but very important. It helps lead rainwater away from walls and foundations. Protect the building from long-term damage. In the wall, butter acid plates are used for structural reinforcement. This is a very good material for making covers. Thanks to the stability, hardness, and good bonding ability, it helps to transfer the load from the machine down to the wall frame, then down to the foundation. It makes the whole house one more uniform and solid block. But good materials aren't enough, because if you're exposed to moisture for too long before finishing the outer layer, it can still warp or degrade. That's why the moisture protection and the steam is carefully installed right after that. Inside the work, it gives you the feeling of a real home. Insulation layers are put in, wooden panels are mounted on top, and the space starts to change dramatically. From a rough frame of armor, the building is now warm, has depth, and begins to bring a sense of welcome. Outside the final finish, made of cladding with insulation core, they don't just make the house better, but also protect it from rain and wind, change in temperature, and the harsh effects of weather. A few decoration details bearing wood grain also added as subtle accents. It just increases the natural look, just kept the grit necessary for areas frequently exposed to degrees moist. And at this point, when most of the work has taken shape, the creator is faced with an important decision, because from here on out, the house not only needs to be strong and durable, it's really about being where people want to be. I want to rest and go back. After completing the first project, the creator doesn't stop there. You're embarking on a new challenge, building a second house, but this time with a very different spirit. New house is inspired by Hana's The Tradition of Korea. It's not for Sao to copy the original architecture, but to retain its core values. The warmth of pragmatism, harmony with nature, and a sense of peace that is very few types of modern homes can bring. A home that wants to be really pleasant all year round. You can't just be beautiful on the outside, it's also about being smart about how it works inside. That's why traditional heating it's included as an important part of the building. It's not like devices. Modern heating only warms the air. Under warms up from the floor. Create a pleasant feeling, stable and very natural throughout the entire living space. The heart of that system starts with a box of fire, built of heat-resistant brick. Each joint is sealed with soil mixture, lightning and sand, to keep the heat from escape. From this firebox system of paths, the heat underneath the floor is formed like underground vessels, silently carrying the warmth throughout the house. This is not a speakable part because an application cannot be added later. It's got to be built right out of the temple. From the first layers of construction, when finished and covered by the floor, the whole system, it became a permanent part of the house. That's why every step at this stage must be accurate. For interesting things about eating Dan are not just for replacement. Change the temperature in the house. It also affects your lifestyle. When the floor becomes the warmest place, everyday activities also revolve around the floor. 7 lower furniture. The space is closer, and each position in the room has its own meaning. The warmest area is usually reserved for older people or esteemed guests as a way of showing respect kept through generations. It's not just construction techniques, it's about living culture. It's placed directly into the structure of the house. For when the underfloor heating is complete, the creator moves to the enclosure. Lightweight aerated concrete blocks chosen for wall construction both help reduce arbitration and support better insulation. Reinforced steel bars are placed into pre-cut lists, help the whole wall system. Tighter and more stable bond before outside influences. Each door frame, each window is carefully installed, by only one wrong. Small deviations at this stage can also cause great difficulty. When completed later, gradually, the buildings moving from invisible structures to the apparent shape of a real house. When the wall has reached the desired height, the roof began to be built. The roof spines are positioned as spines of the whole building. From which the trusses are installed in turn. Each bar, they're all cut to match the gradient exactly, calculated before, and then the boards are put up, forming a solid seal. Before the plate layer, roofing metal insulation finished upper. This roof system is not just against the rain. It also helps the house keep the stability, temperature in both summer and winter. It's the kind of beauty that's not too ostentatious, but it gives a very clear sense of security. Inside the electrical system installed before, the walls and ceilings are closed. The conduit, power wires, and distribution boards are neatly organized to build a working framework, safe for the whole house. Then, the gaps are carefully checked to avoid 7 heat escape. Anti-rumbling and prevent wind, the insulation is added and then covered with acid, that the space inside begins to take shape of a home, instead of a construction site. The light system is also arranged by a combination of warm and cool tones, creating an atmosphere that is both relaxing and modern. Then the work goes back to the single-serving finishing. One of the most special parts of the house, space between the floor and the is filled with soil for increased stability and heat retention. The joints are covered with an extra layer of soil, thick lighting to ensure the system durable operation. Over time, near the entrance to a small brick kitchen, combined with a thermal conduction system to just serve cooking, it contributes to heating the space. On the same clay that covers the surface, acts as a natural heat conductor, help land warmth spread evenly throughout the floor and retain longer. It's the wisdom that comes from traditional experience, simple but extremely effective. For when the windows are installed and sealed carefully, the house began to change dramatically. Natural light comes in, make every little corner wake up. The main door was completed, and from that moment, the building is no longer a celebration. It's a real living space, discreet, safe, and ready to weather outside. To meet modern usage, the builder. There is also an electronic door lock with a keyboard, a small but very convenient detail, especially suitable if the house is used as a resort for rent, short day. Then, Interior 7 finishes start to bring personality to the house. To the base of the wall, wallpaper, the surface finish, and button flooring, bottle in turn appeared. The bottle doesn't just feel soft, warm, and comfortable underfoot, it also makes the room closer. The kitchen is complemented by a delicately crafted wooden lid, just convenient to use, allow for warmth. Land radiates better into surrounding space. Every little detail, they all seem to be chosen, serving the same goal: let's make this house a place where AI comes in. I also want to stay a little longer. The outside of the yard is well taken care of. Grass layer. Green space is always neat and easy to maintain. A circular outdoor fireplace. Built as the center of the evening. Spinning pans. It's not just practical, it also creates a very special atmosphere, where people can sit and talk, hear the fire break apart, and feel the tranquility of the mountains and forests.